Oh, hello, Max Magician Requester. I forgot you were here.
Oh no.
Excellent work on the capture, Minion Cat. I like the camouflage.
I used her natural affection for tabbies against her.
Although she did actually spring for ropes this time, so kudos.
Be silent! Then speak when the mistress wants you to.
I have 2 movies, and you'll choose which one you'll suffer. 1 or 2. You can speak now.
Can I find out what they are?
No, because then you refuse to watch either one, and you'll have to get chucked out of a window again, and no one's got time for that.
Least of all me. Fine, 1. No, 2. No, 1.
Which is it?
2.
Fine, we're watching 1.
Oh, joy! That's equally the least bad one.
What are we watching?
Oh, just MonsTURD.
Ooh, number 2. He does what the doo-doos do.
MonsTURD? Oh god. What the hell is that about?
Oh, it's the heartwarming tale of a serial killer called Jack Schmidt becoming a giant murderous pile of shit!
Literally or figuratively?
Oh, yes.
It was the brainchild of Dan West and Rick Popko. Together they wrote, produced, directed, edited, acted in.
Maybe you should list everything they didn't do.
Quality control, mostly. Think of this as a trauma movie from another mother. It's no budget, it's unpretentious, it gives no fucks. It knows it's a very silly movie, and it's made its peace with that.
I haven't. God, I really wish I'd chosen 2.
You did. Kinda. This is about a big pile of shit.
What was the other film about?
It's MonsTURD's sequel. It's about special needs zombies.
Oh god.
It's called Retard Dead.
Oh god.
Yeah. I'll save it for next time.
Oh god.
I just want to add a hearty, holy fuck.
4, 3, 2, 1. I have the same combination on my luggage.
4, 3, 2, 1. MonsTURD is go! The whole intro credit sequence appears to be a highly evolved PS1 title screen. There's a reason for that. It was done by Mark Pirro, the genius behind Curse the Queer Wolf, Nudist Colony of the Dead, and many other films that you can't believe have not reviewed yet.
I have to admit, MonsTURD is a killer pun, and I love puns. If you said it fast, someone might mishear it and go in expecting an anime by Naoki Urasawa. You know, I'd love to see the look on their faces when they get this instead.
You're meant to hate this. Serious face!
Sorry.
You will be.
I get it. Your claws are sharp.
We open up with this shot and a little girl screaming. My intimate knowledge of the language of cinema is telling me that the gnomes who live in this dollhouse are being terribly frightening, just off screen. She and her dad live in this Ed Wood shot, a fate so terrifying that she can't sleep.
Daddy, I can't sleep. Can you tell me a bedtime story?
Of course, the terror could come from the lighting. It's not so much day for night as day for impending alien abduction.
I'm not entirely sure how it happened, but the girl is miles ahead at acting than her dad.
Daddy, I can't sleep. Can you tell me a bedtime story?
I'm always telling you a bedtime story, Munchkins.
How does that happen? And her dad appears to be Matt Mercer if he got into drugs in high school.
Looks like you answered your question with your observation there.
Why don't you tell me a bedtime story for a change?
Hey, telling her a story is kinda part of your job, bad acting bad dad.
Okay, but it's real scary.
I think I can handle it.
I love the framing device. Everything that's dumb or nonsensical makes perfect sense because a little kid came up with it.
Hey, Max Magician Requester, that's a bit like your show.
Hey! I work hard on that show.
Unnecessary insults aside.
Very necessary insults aside.
That's a great point. Narratively, it's like an impregnable human shield made of a fictional little girl. But not as horrible as that sounds. Yeah.
Wow, that does sound scary.
But only about half as scary as the idea that someone thought this was technically performance.
I'm sure if I get scared, you can protect me.
Once upon a time, in a place called Butte County,
Butte County strongly resembles H.P. Lovecraft's beloved Providence, if Lovecraft was a Tumblr kid.
there lived a happy community of good-hearted and hard-working people.
Bullshit! Now, a town full of good-hearted people makes for weak drama, so luckily there's also people outside of town.
Just outside of town, some very bad people were being very bad.
Those bastards living about a mile down the road.
Yeah, those monsters living on the other side of the arbitrary line that is the city limits. They're the worst.
Yada yada yada, evil company, yada yada yada. Continuing voiceover.
The evil Dr. Stern has been using Dutech to create horrible things.
Very horrible, but very cheap to film things. Dutech are your usual common or garden generic orb, all doing evil, forcing their people to wear lab coats with reckless abandon, and of course, creating hideous monsters with alarming regularity.
He hoped to sell his mutant creations to the government for a tidy profit.
Mutant Creations? Is that where Dark Phoenix came from? I hope they got their money back. It's a terrible weapon of mass destruction. All I managed to do was empty some cinemas.
It's amazing how you can turn someone's garage into a totally believable lab just by adding all the hallmarks of science. Periodic table, military surplus gas masks, hard hats, rubber gloves, spinning plastic containers, a keep out sign cleverly located inside the room, a separate room with scientists pointing at actual equipment in a brief shot, and of course, a small jar of pee.
I think they're working on their most evil creation yet. Batman v Superman. Wait, all those names.
Butte County, Dutech, and the villain's Jack Schmidt?
Yeah?
Is this all just one big poop joke?
No, it's a series of small poop jokes.
I love this.
Ugh, fucking scatterbrain. Scat, 'cause poop. Ha, it's funny.
Schmidt has managed to escape using the method perfected by Dillinger. Somehow create a less than life-size papier-mâché replica of yourself with the wrong hair and mustache for some reason, and then phase through a wall.
Hey, Schmidt. Jack Schmidt. Up and at him.
And you thought his wooden gun escape was daring.
I want to know how anyone dumb enough to think that would work actually managed to pull it off. Having said that, at only 8 or so seconds, it's a big improvement over Prison Break, at least.
And I want local authorities on alert ASAP. Tell them Schmidt is armed and probably dangerous.
Say, if he's only probably dangerous, why is he being kept in a maximum security prison?
To make his escape a little more challenging.
That would be ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that escape wasn't challenging. They bring out the big guns to hunt down Schmidt. This building that the caption says is the FBI, but looks more like a train station. And just like the real FBI, the people inside wonder where the fuck you brought a camera into their offices.
This guy's spending a lot of time walking. You could fit half a West Wing conversation in here. A conversation asking why they cut the FBI's budget in half, 'cause look at this place.
Schmidt's escaped.
What? What? You could have told me that over the phone!
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have been able to have that sweet walking shot. I mean, come on.
Bullshit! It's 2003. Cell phones have been around for years.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
Wasting time while the serial killer runs through a park. That's why they pay me the big bucks. Big bucks that I won't pump back into the movie's budget, thank you very much.
So Schmidt's still escaping, it's all the expert camouflage that's keeping him from being spotted.
Such a master criminal. Maybe he'd have been found if that outfit looked anything like a real prison uniform. Just saying. Dutech are proving themselves to be a bit crappy at the whole science thing. Not only are they conducting bacterial research in a refinery...
Hey, maybe they're really good at science and are just refining the bacteria and making it stronger. And the asshole who built the building didn't know that refining had more than one meaning.
their hiring practices also leave a lot to be desired. Like, I don't know, having hiring practices.
Curiously enough, when I was working on the Cronus 5 project, I was... What the?
Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing!
Well, here's an idea. Just spitballing here. Don't let him into your top secret lab then.
So, she saves the guy in a helmet, gas mask and gloves, so at the very least he'd be protected if the pathogen thwacked him with a crowbar, and then stays in herself, and all that's between her and the rest of the lab is a wooden door. I think I have an explanation though. Everyone on the site is tripping balls.
Which certainly explains the same three guys running around aimlessly and whatever the heck this is.
Not born! Chocolate moves into existence! I love that she went from valued co-worker to science experiment in 0.3 seconds. Even Joseph Mengele would have waited for at least 0.7. His acting is amazing if you know what they were going for. Okay, science guy, now I want you to act like you're perusing a selection of desserts. You want the meringue, but you're on a diet. The carrot cake is healthy, but you don't care for it. Now a chocolate cream catches your eye.
The FBI is confident that they'll soon capture Schmidt, so confident that the agent in black takes a helicopter ride before driving out there.
Man, if the guy that runs that place is called Pinochet, this is going to be a very short film.
Before the ride, she's briefed by the agent in gray. You can tell she's a real FBI agent by the proper positioning of her identification badge. The briefing was very important, but unfortunately showing off that they had access to a helicopter was even more important, and the blades were a bit too loud.
I think it's a sign of a fantastic filmmaker when you can remove the audio and just... and have the scene make just as much sense in post.
In another, equally realistic lab that's made of plastic that someone hung up, the evil doctor is taken to melting the poor woman who ran into the room, got hit with red light, and spontaneously generated chocolate sauce.
Ooh, he stole her wedding ring. He is evil.
Great work, now you and whatever pawn shop you sell the ring to are contaminated as well.
Is he still running? He must be halfway to Boston by now.
He's heading due east and he's on foot.
Hey, I got the direction right. But how the hell do they know that? If he found tracks, he could have easily changed direction. If they know where he is, then why are they hanging around smoking and drinking coffee?
A much better question is why this guy leaves his patrol car to take a piss, and instead of going into the woods and probably scaring the guys in suits, he goes to the side the camera's on so it can maybe get a better look at his dick, and then actually pisses while facing the car so his partner gets to look instead.
That is a puzzler.
I suspect that if we knew that, we'd know much more about the nature of reality than we know now.
Like where the red dot goes when it vanishes.
The deputies receive a call. They've found their target. The Schmidt's about to hit the fan.
Come on, hurry up, move it! We got code 12, let's go now!
Shake off your Keystone cock and get in the damn car!
Across town in the suburbs, the evil doctor's pouring that heady mix of scientist/brown stuff and acid down a drain.
Well, all this dry ice won't dispose of itself.
How is no one noticing this? It's the suburbs. They notice everything. I'm pretty sure they noticed the voiceover that I'm doing right now.
What are we doing?
Investigating new ways to get caught.
Research!
I suspect the makers were too frightened to be realistic about evil toxic waste disposal in a city and filmed this where all the black people live. All that's left of her is her skull and a sheet. Two notoriously hard bones.
You can't just be dumping your experiments down the city sewer system, Doctor.
You can't do that thing I just assisted you in doing, Doctor. Ruff, 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 ruff. It just isn't done.
Timmy, would you like to reconsider your position here at Dutech?
Here at Dutech? Oh, maybe he owns the neighborhood. Or this is meant to be part of the lab?
Nail a periodic table to a tree and it'll look at least 3% more convincing than the garage from earlier.
Schmidt has finally made it out of the woods and into a tunnel. Of course, he's going to kick himself, and he realizes that it probably leads right back to his prison.
Jeez, this guy never tires. Who knew that prison was so conducive to marathon training? Put this guy in the Boston Marathon once he gets there.
Over at the police department, we can see that they forgot to angle this shot, so we couldn't see that the place isn't actually called Butte County. At least they gave the sheriff some donuts so we knew he wasn't a librarian.
Her helicopter ride concluded, the FBI agent in black has arrived.
Sheriff Duncan?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Susan Hannigan, FBI.
The Bureau phoned ahead. I knew you were coming. We've been expecting you.
Great, I understand I can be of some assistance.
That old guy looks fucking horrified by her performance. But, to be fair, there's plenty of that to go around.
Aren't you the agent that brought Jack Schmidt in?
Yes, I am.
Ah!
It's an honor to meet you, Agent Hannigan. That was great police work bringing Schmidt to justice.
Do you see the pain your performance is causing me? Huh?
Down in the local sewers / tunnels / world's worst show caves, they're on Schmidt's trail. They brought the torches in case they find a bit of wall that doesn't have 16 lights attached to it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's some shit down here.
We're in a sewer, Brainiac.
Not according to the floor, which is made of dry, gravelly stone you're not.
I love all the places that clearly aren't the places they filmed in. If the movie goes on long enough, maybe they'll film in a real place by accident.
No, I'm not talking about shit. I'm talking about green, steamy, slimy shit.
So, someone ate a vindaloo curry and went for a romantic walk among all the halogen lights?
Resulting in a vindapoo.
And he had to shit on the floor because he couldn't find a vindaloo in time. Mistress, what's a loo?
Sheriff, it's Dan. Are you reading me? Over?
Yeah, I am, Dan, and that's a fucking miracle, seeing as walkie-talkies have a very limited range, and you're using a cordless landline phone that's being held back to front.
Is he eating more donuts, or is that the same one?
We need to introduce him to that woman who kept pouring cups of coffee and children living dead. They'll cancel each other out. Anyway, you'll be glad to know that the sheriff is keeping his mind on the important stuff like donuts, instead of literally everything his job entails.
You're in the sewer?
Yeah, but it's not what you're thinking. This time we chased the guy down here.
What guy?
Yeah, that's why I'm calling. We think it might be Jack Schmidt.
Jack Schmidt?
Yeah, Jack Schmidt. You know the guy, he's kind of tall. You had a whole scene about him in your office.
His name sounds like shit.
Okay, where are you boys at?
We're down in the sewer.
Where down in the sewer?
The bit that best keeps the movie's obvious padding as subtle as possible.
There's something very wrong about this case. I'm already expecting this sort of crap from the sheriff, but the FBI agent was still in his office when he got the call about Schmidt from the deputy. So, who the hell was that FBI agent-looking woman in the sewers with the deputy? She wasn't in his car when he got the call about Schmidt, and he didn't pick her up on screen.
It's a story being told by a little girl, remember? We're lucky half the cast aren't fucking unicorns.
That'd either greatly improve this movie, or make it much, much worse. Hey, whoever this woman is in the sewer and her deputy found Schmidt!
Free Schmidt!
Hands in the air!
Good job.
Eat Schmidt and die, copper! At least we'll now be able to keep track of who's who by how deaf they are.
You shot me, you bitch!
And then the bad man fell into a pipe.
And then the movie got back to me in order to avoid having to film some more expensive stuff, when if they saved the money spent on that helicopter ride, they might have been able to afford...
I'm easily the cleverest element of the film! Well, I don't know about you, but I think he looks horrified that he managed to fall into the only wet part of the sewer.
Holy shit! What is that?
I do love a good pun.
And crap ones too, it seems.
I get it! Crap means the same as shit.
Holy shit!
Do not ever call me that.
Oh my god!
Did someone illegally dump a collection of working floodlights and a generator down into the sewers? Because wow, that's brighter than all the other shots in the movie combined.
Looks like the acid, somewhat diluted it, stopped melting him when he got to that merchandisable Ellen McCurdy phase. The evil doctors brought his golden gun replica and his long-suffering assistant to the local sewage treatment plant to continue his vaguely defined work.
Timmy, I won't have my work destroyed by incompetence and clumsy accidents.
He's also looking a little more like a Nazi every time he turns up, By the end of the sequel, I expect him to be running a fucking moon base. Hopefully he'll shoot himself in the dick along the way.
I won't have my work destroyed by incompetence and clumsy accidents.
Ow!
Okay, they're going to drain the sewage treatment plant back into the sewers because it's in danger of cleaning the shit microbes that he put down there. Okay, I get all that.
Actually, I don't.
But why is the sewage treatment plant played by a brewery?
Because they were somehow able to shoot this at Budweiser's? Actually, I think he's trying to create a closed loop of shit in order to increase its potency. Sewer to treatment plant to sewer again. It's like a Mobius strip of shit rolling downhill.
How about a warm-up, Sheriff?
Well, I'd prefer a ridiculous amount of donuts, but beggars can't be choosers.
I hear tell Jack Schmidt escaped from Hardell last night and disappeared into the sewer.
Wouldn't exactly say it disappeared.
Looked pretty disappeared to me.
Yeah, at least 80% disappeared.
He got shot by a federal marshal. He fell into a vat of boiling acid and all the skin was ripped off his body.
Do you think he often discusses high-profile melting serial killer cases with waitresses? Or do you think he usually saves that for the guy who runs his local Krispy Kreme?
So how's about that chili cook-off? Word has it you're shooing for first place this year.
I got the results back, and that was definitely an awkward segue. Also, I have breast cancer.
Flattery will get you everywhere, Tom. I hear Cajun Charlie's whipping up a batch of his ass-kicking bowel bomber con carne.
This place is Salem but for feces. Anyway, time to find out a bit too much about both his sex life and possibly his approach to sexual harassment.
How about you sit on my face and make me look like a glazed donut?
This isn't acting. It's not porn acting. It's not even LARP acting. It's internet review acting.
Ain't no cop worth his badge doesn't take your donuts home, honey.
Anytime, honey.
So what have we got, Johnny?
Good question.
But I think it might be what those boffins at the Pentagon call a microscope.
It's some sort of multicellular bacteria.
Bacteria?
Now, call me crazy, but it appears to have crossbred with chromosomes from Schmidt's body.
Okay, you're crazy.
He also stole the 10th Doctor's whole look. That guy just accidentally wrote the weirdest episode of green porno yet. And that's saying something.
The outcome of an organism like this could be catastrophic. This is no natural occurrence.
He's going to be so angry with himself when he realizes he spilled some of his delicious chocolate pudding onto the lens, and he's not as good at his job as he thinks he is.
They should call this violation of lab procedures the movie.
And we'll be lucky if that's all that gets violated.
As this guy goes wandering in the sewers, you get to hear the power of a good, well, not good, technically existent Foley artist, as they transform the world's worst show cave into a somewhat realistic sewer, if you ignore the lights and almost everything on screen.
Yeah, but then they mess it up in all the following shots by showing him walking around on dry ground.
Oh, God, that stinks.
Oh no, he thinks he's in a Denny's.
Is that an easy mistake to make?
Could be harder.
You know, Fog Monster turns up in the weirdest places. He must live a very full life. No! Fog Monster! Turn yourself in for the sake of your children! Who might be on screen right now. Do it before you kill again! Oh well, pretending to care about stuff is boring. The next day, the sheriff brings 12 of his girlfriends for everyone to share, and the deputies are playing with a new department mascot.
Hey, dude, wanna smoke a doobie?
Dan and I are making him up as part of the new anti-drug program we're going to be pitching to the elementary school later this week.
That's gonna go down so well at local elementary schools when the police go visit. Especially when the cops start beating him till the kids cry.
Yeah, I got rights, man. Oh, you want some rights? I'll give you some fucking rights. You have the right to remain silent. I want a lawyer. You want a fucking lawyer? How about this? What? How do you like that, huh? You think that's really fucking funny, hippie freak? You fucking... Huh? Yeah? You got a problem with that, motherfucker?
So, the movie's suddenly gone uncomfortably realistic.
Yeah, sort of a cinema verite, Dogma 95 thing. Always good when directors expand their horizons, in this case expand them to include Harry Russo, if he was lawful evil instead of chaotic evil.
Turns out that the tank that the evil doctor drained contained Schmidt's body. For some reason that's never explained.
Seeing as he's now a sentient pile of shit, the significance of draining it is also never explained.
And the blurred faces in the porn in the back of this shot are also, you guessed it,
never explained.
Hardly needs to be. It's probably just a fetish.
Yeah, Sheriff, this is Bert Jones out of the Public Works Department.
Sheriff, the low drone in my background music is scaring me. If you don't send someone now, I'm gonna keep adding badges to my high-vis vest. And it'll soon be a little less viz.
Sheriff.
Agent Hannigan.
I need to have a word with you about what we found down at the tank.
Only one? Better be MonsTURD then. Oh man, this looks like the perfect time to use that stringy, scary X-Files music.
I love that.
Me too.
Meow 3.
But what's that behind them? It's large, it's sort of waddling, it probably has questionable hygiene, it's making a strange low guttural sound in lieu of speech. It's not Teddy, is it?
Hey! I resemble that remark! Oh, I'm a cameo.
I think that would have worked better if we were in a hotel room together.
Yeah. But what are you gonna do?
Not fuck up the filming the first time?
Anyway, I think it looks more like a homeless pyramid head. Less chance of one of them walking in unannounced.
So they're investigating a sewer and find a wall with some shit on it, and one of the deputies instantly starts rubbing it without any gloves on.
Hey, if this was an actual sewer, it wouldn't be that much worse than going down there without any waterproof gear or masks.
Oh my god. This is the bacteria I saw in the tank back at the plant.
I'd recognize that microscopic organism anywhere. It's the mustache, it looks ridiculous. Anyway, the others make a far more prosaic discovery.
It stinks like a slaughterhouse.
The missing sewer worker and his new maggoty friends.
Stop overreacting. It's not called Monster.
Been a while since I saw a vomit gore film.
That puking was so disgusting, it killed the maggots. No, wait, those are gummies. Well, the ones that aren't confused-looking worms. Guys, I don't know how to break this to you, but he might not have died of natural causes.
Across town, we have this classic example of a happy couple. The first sign that something is very deeply wrong with them is the placement of those fish on the wall, just where neither of them can see them. The next is her not washing vegetables before cutting them, and the third, but least important, is her screeching like a banshee at her husband to clean the bathroom while she waves a knife in his face.
Why can't it wait 2 hours?
Because it stinks! I can smell it all the way up here!
The scene's set up to make her look like Shelley Duvall, finally out for revenge, but in a brilliant bait and switch, you quickly find out that if anything, she was too nice to him about it.
How in the hell did that fit through the pipes? No, where the hell did that thing come from? He was plunging the toilet. He was looking into the toilet, and it appears behind him.
Did it just come out of the shower? Because... ugh, that's gross.
Honestly, I think this murder is fair because if anything, he started it by attacking the toilet with a plunger. The plunger has long been a symbol of anti-shitmonster oppression.
It's choking the shit out of him. And where the hell is it dragging his body to? It's not going to fit down the toilet, and someone might just notice if he tries to take it down the street. In a regular office that they're pretending is a morgue, one of the many similar-looking FBI agents is doing an autopsy on the dead sewer worker.
When the hell could have done that?
Something with a bizarre affinity for worms.
Okay, this is gonna sound crazy, but you know that old urban legend, with the alligator in the sewer getting flushed down the toilet, and it grows to gigantic proportions?
I think an alligator would also have eaten the bones.
And Probably not stick a bunch of worms in the skeleton. Seriously, what the fuck is going on with those worms?
Why wouldn't you remove them before doing shit to the body? Them wriggling around is just going to distract her. Clearly, the little girl who wrote this hasn't done nearly enough research into autopsies.
So the two dim-witted deputies are called up by the angry lady to check out her husband's substandard toilet cleaning.
Insert joke about middle-class white women calling the cops every time they see something brown they didn't like the look of.
Don't get caught with your pants down? The shit monster has a calling card? Holy crap, this is too much.
Crap is right. The poor bastard wasn't even caught with his pants down.
Jack Schmidt's autograph. And there it was, in the bathroom, above the toilet, in human feces. Sick.
How do you know it was human?
Yeah, kinda look like fudge.
Did you question Mrs. Keller about her husband's whereabouts in the last 24 hours?
Hell no, we just wanted to get the hell out of there.
You two are terrible at your jobs.
They're about to rename police procedure police amateur-cedure.
Dan got pictures of it. Can't wait to see the look on my wife's face when she develops that role.
I hate my wife. That night, Bester and sequester a bummer dressed like clowns and drinking heavily. They follow a can and a string down some stairs, past some ominous lighting and towards the sewer. Luckily, no actual homeless people, no matter how drunk, would ever fall for this trick.
I think I get it.
We all float her down here, Georgie!
What the hell?
Unluckily for these two, they're just actors playing homeless people. And being actors, the local police with their regulation suspenders could give less of a crap about them. But it would be hard.
Drink enough of that shit they were drinking and you'd see monsters too.
Without any donuts nearby, the sheriff has started drinking heavily and getting involved in even more illicit vices, like ADR.
Never mind, it's just a little stupid joke we used to say as kids.
Day 3, I hope that the kids started this thing on a Friday night. Otherwise their dad's in a fuckload of trouble.
So there's a quick interlude where the police car is very slowly chased off screen by a wipe, and one of the agents goes to a spooky and probably haunted mansion for answers. Is the budget stretching, or is it your imagination? You make the call.
That house cannot look sinister under green or any other lights. There's Fog Monster. It's tragic. He's feeling guilty about earlier and is desperately trying to surrender to her. But he's made of fog, so she doesn't realize it.
You right.
Who could own this mansion but the evil doctor? And you know, in his natural habitat, he looks like he was crapped out by a Sherlock Holmes novel. And not one of the good ones.
He might be a rich and evil doctor, but his book collection's pretty crappy. He only has biographies for half of the Ninja Turtles. I mean, come on. The agents accidentally let him know that something weird's going on in the sewers. Naturally, he'll assume monster. Because why not?
I'd kind of like to get to the bottom of this little mystery.
Okay, this is set in California, and there's more fog outside this building than the whole rest of the state. And who's he calling now?
Garage!
Yes, Timmy. I'm going to need you to assemble a cleanup crew immediately.
Timmy!
We've had a little mishap down at the plant.
He assembles a team to find the monster, and to show how serious he has everyone wear something resembling proper sewer gear. Except for himself, cause lab coats are magic.
I want you all to split up. I want samples of any and everything unusual. Do you understand me?
Great. Now they're gonna waste their time ripping all the lights out.
Not to mention the train line down there. Oh, no. That's the wires for the lights. I don't know if that's more or less dumb.
I love the shit monster attacks.
Well, I love the shit monster attacks.
Aren't they the same thing?
I don't know.
Only in this movie. And stop enjoying the film so much. It's meant to be a punishment.
Shit happens.
I love the concern on the evil doctor's face. It's like he realizes those screams are way too loud for attacks that lethargic. Back in the office/autopsy room, one of the FBI agents is literally leafing through the script. because she forgot her next scene involved dealing with a zombie.
Hey, don't give me any shit!
She looks very lightly put out that she has to deal with that thing. It's like, guess this shit is real now too. Anyway, you'll be glad to know that after that autopsy, we now have irrefutable proof that there's someone called Johnny in the movie.
Agent Hagan.
It's Johnny.
I know, I was surprised too. I don't know about you, but I also love to wear an FBI badge on my jacket while hanging around at home. Not her home, though, seeing as they tried to show her flying in, but someone's.
I do that too, but only because I saw it in a porno once and I want to tear for the pizza guy. Some clever bastard eventually realized that this film is woefully low in its own citizen quota, so quietly fixed it.
Entomology. Hello. May I speak to Professor Downing, please?
Oh, Professor Downing was my father's name. You can call me Beelzebub. They need to kill the Schmidt monster, so naturally they decide to acquire 1 million flies, which will, no doubt, have a fascinating impact on the town's local ecosystem.
I need you to round up somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 million.
1 million? What on earth would you need 1 million flies for?
It's a long and complicated story, Professor.
It'd take between 40 minutes and 4 days to tell, depending on whether we're going by movie time or actual time passed in the story.
Suffice to say, we have a rather, delicate situation on our hands.
We hope they'll fucking create a breed of superfly, which will use the power of funk to defeat a literal shit monster. Anyway, in summation, this guy will have his 1 million flies in about 2 days.
I swear, the dad better have a beard by the time this girl finishes her story.
Hell, the little girl better have a beard.
Over at the sheriff's office, he's keeping glasses with ice on the floor alongside a bottle of tequila bigger than his head. I don't think he's taken the closure of his favorite donut place too well. At least he has someone to share his pain with.
That bacteria must have leaked from Dutech Genetics. I know this sounds impossible, but it seems like it has somehow mutated with Jack Schmidt's genetic makeup when he was down there in that tank.
Luckily, the scientist who got a face full in the lab didn't have DNA, apparently. Across town, the shit monster's next victim's watching the asylum's answer to That's My Bush.
You fat ass! And you wouldn't be calling me all these fucked up names if Mr. Spanky was here right now.
Mr. Spanky? Who the fuck is that?
Every Easter, he pops out of the toilet with chocolate eggs.
Dude, you're fucking sick!
I think Trey Parker's gonna sue somebody!
There's a giant doo-doo in the bathroom.
Okay,
I'm really proud of you, honey.
Put you on a stick.
I didn't make it, Daddy. It came out of the bathroom and started saying bad words. I'm scared.
For some reason, the guy's daughter is written about half as old as she actually is.
That makes sense. The South Park parodies, but half as funny as the rest of the film.
No, Daddy, don't go. The doodle will get you.
Maybe her little sister ducked out of filming and they had to improvise. It was hiding in the shower. MonsTURD has just digivolved into Assassination Turd.
You know, I think that monster might be what happened when Pizza the Hut finished eating himself.
Well, I'm waiting for the inevitable Lloyd Kaufman cameo.
I think you'll find that's tragically inevitable.
The deputies are questioning the girl about her father's death, and they couldn't even get a take where she wasn't laughing. I know I corpse a lot in my episodes, but damn, when I do it, there's not usually an actual corpse involved. Unless I'm working with Hagan, in which case there's a lot of corpses. Usually mine.
There is still time. Anyway, this is an improvement over earlier scene where I'm pretty sure she was medicated. What I love about this is that the deputies, the little girl, and the police sketch artist are in different shots. Probably shot in different days and maybe different locations. And I'm sure he was shot with a different camera.
Yes, it was a big doo-doo. It was the biggest doo-doo in the world.
Nah, it could have been him. He's president.
Well, that's a joke that'll never age.
How big was this doo-doo?
It was bigger than you.
You gotta be shitting me.
Okay, I think the movie's trying to become self-aware.
Were there any other distinguishing marks that you can speak of, per se? Did you notice that did it leave a trail of anything behind, like little bits and pieces of itself anywhere?
Oh my god, I'm fucking dying. that sketch artist is doing airplane levels of taking shit seriously.
Did it say anything like...
And the thing he draws should have been the DVD cover.
Did it look something like this?
It wasn't the DVD cover, was it?
No.
Well, Jesus, Dale, why don't you just scare our only witness away?
But I did. There was a music sting and I showed her this picture. You should pay more attention. And you should try to recognize sarcasm, Dale! How about this? I will, as soon as anyone involved in this works out how eye lines work.
Yeah, but, how can a turd kill someone?
By poisoning?
By really disgusting burial? Like I was forced to do to 8 of my friends?
No, if you want to make a turd kill people, step 1, you name the Manders Breivik.
I don't know, Rick. That's a pretty weird question.
So, remember the sheriff? Well, he's been drinking all day, and he's a bit of a mean drunk, so I think he wants to have a bar fight with a shit monster.
I've got to go back down in the sewer.
Don't be crazy, Tom!
The important upshot from this conversation is that the town's big chili cook-off is in 2 days, and people need to stop using their toilets.
Alert the town! Keep them away from their toilets! Who knows who this is going to come after next?
Lest someone climb out and doo-doo the men.
If logic has any place in this at all.
That is a very dangerous thing to suppose.
As I gather from these test results, this creature is confined to his native environment.
It's leaving that environment and grabbing random dudes. I fear logic might not come into this at all. Getting drunk and having circular arguments about turdmen is conducive to romance, so she joins him in his apartment for a nightcap.
3% of this place looks like a cheap sci-fi set. 4% would have been gauche. Hey, that's the same bottle of tequila. He carries it around with him.
Well, he needs to carry something now that donuts don't exist anymore.
Oh, is this your wife?
Yes, that's Stephanie.
Oh, she's lovely.
She was.
Was?
I love that she comes back to his place to continue drinking, at least semi-romantically. And she's more surprised that his wife's dead than that he had one. It's like she saw his ring and assumed it was Polly and he just forgot to mention it.
I got the test results back, and my wife definitely died of cancer.
Cancer.
I'm very sorry about that.
Don't be. She was a fantastic lady.
Don't be. She left me this sweet pet and that statue with the massive knob.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Care for another?
Yes.
Well, this scene is as necessary as that leg placement. She literally walks in, find out his wife's dead, has another drink, listens to some saxophone music on the soundtrack, designed to make us think they're gonna fuck, and then leaves. The fuck?
No the fuck. Just bleary-eyed romantic awkwardness.
Jack Schmidt really did a number on you, didn't he?
He did a number on me, alright. Great big number, too.
What a shit joke.
Ha! Number 2. Classic.
Minion Cat, disembowel her with your tiny but very sharp claws, and then have her cloned with the memories intact.
With these tiny claws, it'll take about 3 weeks.
Well, that's fine. I'll just edit it so it's seamless.
Hey, don't I get
If you must relieve yourself, please find an alternate source of disposal. Perhaps you could try crapping in a bucket and dumping it out the front window like they did in the Middle Ages.
That is so not cool.
Yeah, but he's a police officer, so they have to listen to him.
Or the ever popular standard of shitting or just wetting your pants. The world's your oyster on this one, folks.
Meanwhile, in the writer's room, they're discussing what the words theme, subtext, and genre mean. No, it's a town council. Clearly, at some point, almost everyone over 40 was killed in any number of bizarre accidents. The sheriff and one of the agents are trying to convince him to cancel the chili cook-off.
What's this about canceling the chili cook-off?
Please, lives are at stake here. We have to put our own selfish motives aside.
That's our entire spring revenue for the county.
This town is very badly organized. Maybe if you didn't need an 8-foot-wide calendar telling you exactly when spring is, you could budget better. Anyway, they can live with banning people from their toilets, but they'll have to take that chili from their warm, chili-encrusted hands.
You brought this evil upon us.
Shut up, Jackie!
Yeah, shut up, Jackie.
If Jackie doesn't get eaten, I'm deducting 10% for this film's score.
Jack Schmidt came into contact with the bacteria on the day of his death. Therefore, the shit man.
The what?
The shit man!
Yes, the shit man. I'm pretty sure he's a Doom Patrol character that was introduced by Rachel Pollack in the early 90s.
He's insane!
Whether you people choose to accept this fact or not, there's a blood-thirsty shit man hunting its prey from within your town sewer system.
God damn it, what the hell are you people laughing at?
You can really see the sort of can-do government attitudes and giving no fucks private interests that led to shit like Flint, Michigan's water. Seeing as the council are rejecting his two pleas to cancel the cook-off and, more importantly, to reopen the donut shop, the sheriff goes to Plan B, yell in the street, and then get drunk. This is why Plan B is my favorite plan.
You've been coming to this bar for 20 years, Tom.
Looks like Tom started drinking when he was 14.
Are you alright?
None of us are alright.
They're so not alright that somebody sat on a piano. I think there's something wrong with my neck.
What's the problem with DIY? You've always got some vertebrae left over. I turn them into dice. Do you want to play some D&D later on?
No!
What's this? What's this up on the bathroom wall? What's this? Oh, it's just Oogie Boogie for the Nightmare Before Christmas. But shit.
Down in the thing playing the sewers, the evil doctor is trying to make contact with a shit monster. Now normally this would be a terrible idea, but he's brought an offering.
Irresistible corn. Irresistible peanuts.
Now I, being a fucking idiot, wouldn't have assumed that just because something is part of his body that he'd automatically like to eat it. I mean, have you ever tried to make friends with someone by offering them some delicious pubic hair to snack on? It only works about 1% of the time.
I demonstrate, but that would be really complicated right now.
Oh, and you are not getting any of my pubes.
See what I mean?
Come on, baby.
Dares invade my underground lair.
Look at you. Pleased to make your acquaintance, my friend.
Okay, apparently I don't know shit about fecalology.
So, it turns out that sentient shit monsters forced to live in the quasi-sewers don't tend to be too hot about the people who created them. Go figure.
I am a monster.
No, you're beautiful.
I look like shit. I smell like shit. I feel like shit.
I sound like shit, I dance like shit, I even file my taxes like shit. This is a real shit show, don't you know?
You have made me an abomination.
Abomination, surely.
No, they said abomination, and only Lloyd Kaufman gets to call this film Shirley.
So they make a deal. It's the chili cook-off tomorrow, and the shit monster is going to have a feast. The evil doctor will be allowed to study him in the sewers if he keeps the flies away from him.
Flies? No flies. Flies hurt the shit man.
Space guy from What the Fuck Is Wrong With You sounds just like the shit man.
Over at the police department, the deputies are having a discussion of surprising philosophical depth.
You know, you've been a real asshole recently.
Yeah, well, who's the bigger asshole? The asshole, or the asshole that follows the bigger asshole?
Seriously, this is about 10 words away from turning into a full-on Diogenes versus Plato thing, complete with a dead chicken. Luckily, our loosely defined heroes distract us from philosophy by heading on a way to kill the monster, Pepto-Bismol.
It's working!
Yeah, I'd trust any science done on a table that's even grosser looking than a mound of killer shit.
The sheriff sends the deputies out to raid the local shops, buy all the Pepto-Bismol they can, along with diapers, toilet paper, and plungers. You know, all of a shit monster's natural predators.
I want to know what kind of backwards-ass, deranged fucking place sells toilet paper by the roll unwrapped.
The deputies are to use their supplies to force the shit monster towards the west side of town.
Wait a minute, that tunnel leads out into the park where we're having chili cook-off.
That's just a chance we're gonna have to take, Sheriff.
Where hopefully it won't eat anyone at the chili cook-off before Owen Citizen can kill it via a mix of sunlight and flies.
bought up every last diaper in town. There's gonna be a lot of pissed off babies and old people tonight.
Or pissed on babies and old people?
That was so terrible, I think you gave me cancer.
What's that for?
Protection, we need body armor.
We're all wearing diapers on our heads?
Don't you think I know how crazy this is?
Not when you say it wearing a diaper on your head.
Duty. Now, let's go wipe that shit-eating grin off that son of a bitch's face. I don't understand whether or not wearing biohazard suits for body armor, nappies and toilet paper will just absorb shit.
Without a doubt, this is the most dignified movie I have ever seen. It helps that I'm technically only 15 minutes old. Elsewhere, the evil doctor's assistant has been ordered to kill a sewer worker and assume his identity for totally existent reasons. Jake Busey looks a little nonplussed with this plot development.
Across town at the chili cook-off, the stock footage is really starting to heat up.
It's very good chili, man.
I think Gordon Ramsay dressed as Daredevil's gonna sue somebody! Kudos on the choice of a Barney-themed bouncy castle. He's shit and the branding is on point.
In a stroke of genius, Owen Citizen is transporting the flies in a cat carrier. Now, this might seem stupid, but he's just such a good entomologist, he trained them to sit together in a cube and not escape.
Perhaps they're just depressed. Ergo, his fly's down.
Oh no! The flies cut the ignition line! Maybe they weren't so well trained after all.
It's a real pity that in this world entomologists study ants. So in a wonderful pastiche of Dallas vs. a Xenomorph, this guy is watching the progress on the mission. How's he getting the readings? It was 2002-ish, the internet was still magic then.
Now, I'm sure the evil doctor's assistant/disguise plan was multi-layered and very well thought out. Unfortunately, I can't hear it over the sound of him almost instantly being eviscerated by the shit monster.
Damn, that's some hot shit right there.
Oh shit! Everybody get the fuck out of there now! Run to the west side!
Of course, you realize that since he's killed Fritz, it's now Dr. Shittenstein's turn.
My, have you grown?
Gravy. Okay, I was with it giving him his just chocolate desserts, but is dragging him across the floor and raping him really necessary? I know a fecal transplant's a medical procedure and he is full of shit, but this might be just a bit too much.
Eat shit. Eat shit.
It's amazing how the movie's budget increases every time the stock footage appears. Hollywood accounting at its finest, people.
I just noticed, but the shit monster looks like the Absorbaloff if he was literally rather than figuratively shit.
Now we know why the lighting was terrible every time it was on screen. It looks like shit, in exactly the way they didn't go for.
Hey, it's suddenly a last shit Ghostbusters reboot.
I have seen shit that'll turn you white.
I'll be damned! I'll be damned! The sun melted the lighting rig!
They blast the monster with Pepto-Bismol, and after an afternoon spent being forced to be sitting patiently, Owen Citizen opens the cat carrier, and lets the inhabitants be flies again.
Pretty soon the shit man is dead. In its place, the town only has to deal with a minor ecological disaster because they now have 1 million extra flies. But who cares about that, really?
1 million extra flies who gorged on serial-killing shit monster DNA, so there's a sequel hook they'll ignore.
And then what happened?
And then Hollywood bought the story rights and made it into a movie that cost
$150. Okay, the dad's face says it all. At least the end credit music is amazing.
I'm here to warn you, though it must seem absurd to be aware of a giant MonsTURD. When the shit goes down, he may be in your town. Don't get caught with your pants down.
So, final thoughts. I love this movie. As shit as the props and budget and some of the acting are, it really is funny, especially with how straight they play it. Not to mention, it's a little girl telling the story, so that excuses some of the sillier aspects of the script. It plays like a child's story, and children would make shit and fart jokes in abundance. Plus, the puns kick major ass.
I feel pretty similar. As low-budget nonsense goes, this was pretty good. It knows what it is, it knows what it wants to be, and it goes for it. It's occasionally witty, the acting is pretty good in places, and that song at the end is a fucking masterpiece. Dan West and Rick Popko play the deputies, and they only made one other film. And that sketch artist, that was Mark Pirro, the one-man trauma director that I mentioned at the start. He made Rekchima, the kaiju movie about a giant ass, a Polish vampire in Burbank, and many other things you wish I'd review.
I'm Amanda Hagan. I live with it every day. Wanna watch the sequel sometime?
Will you kill me if I say no?
Yeah, and then I'll have you reprogrammed to say yes.
Then yes!
I knew you'd say that. I already did it.
You didn't do anything else to me, did you?
Not much. I just tweaked your taste in anime a bit.
Now me, on the other hand, I did a lot.
Suddenly I really hate One Piece.
Don't be a fool, don't drop the kids at the pool. Oh yeah, he's one cruel stool. Ooh, number two. He does what the doo-doos do. Ooh, number two. He smells like poo. Silent but deadly.
Privilege, the film that points the way to rebels with a cause. A scathing drama about organized nightmare. The motion picture that says what others dare not even think.